Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kinstretch workouts that are only 15 minutes. Today we are going to focus on our ankles, as the ankle joint itself tends to be one of those problematic areas for a lot of people when it comes to squatting, running, or any kind of range of motion that requires your lower extremity. So what we're going to first start off with is some ankle cars. So we're going to get into a seated position, and we'll have our right leg bent, and we're going to focus on the right side first. With this other leg, you can have it just like this, or you can have it out straight, whatever feels comfortable. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to get you to take your right arm through the right leg just like this, and then you're going to lift that hip up. From here, you're going to take your left hand onto the shin, and then your right hand that's over here, you're going to grab your forearm, and then you're going to also bend the knee to lock that out. So the reason behind this is, one, this is called the Kimura lock, meaning you're not going to go anywhere. So what we're going to try to do is eliminate any knee motion and any hip motion when we try to move through just the ankle. So in this Kimura lock, we're pulling the knee in and also pulling the hip towards our chest. If we're out here, then we can influence knee and hip motion. Whereas if we lock everything in, that ankle is the only thing that's going to be moving. So what you're going to try to do is you're going to drive your toes up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to bring it in towards your midline, down to the ground, out to the side, and back up. So we're essentially drawing a big circle with the ankle joint. When I think of using your toes as the lead driver to make that circle motion. The big thing here is where you find those little bits where it kind of is shaky, like usually around here a lot of people kind of shake through it. You want to go even slower, so then you have a chance for your brain to understand the motion that you're trying to achieve with that ankle joint. And now let's switch directions. Same thing. Again, pull this in. When you think about this joint in particular, most of us use our ankles for plantar flexion and Dorsi flexion, but there's all this motion on the outside of our ankle that we're allowed to do, but we don't ever really challenge it. And good. Perfect. So now we're going to challenge this ankle a little bit more. So we're going to go into some PAILs and rails for ankle Dorsi flexion. So with this other leg, I don't really care what you do. You can go in this position, you can go into this position, as long as you can somehow find a way to drive this knee forward as far as possible until you feel some sort of stretch in your calf, deep in here, deep in the front of your ankle joint, as long as you can feel some sort of stretch. So we're going to hold this position for our 2 minutes. At the top of the 2 minutes, when I tell you to go with your forefoot and your toes, you're going to push down into the ground, kind of like if you're trying to gas pedal your car's accelerator. We'll start at 10% effort, and then we're going to go to 30, then we're going to go to 50, and then max effort. With the ankle joint and like wrists and things like that, when you do PAILs and rails, sometimes it feels really uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels like it could also be pinching. It could also feel just different. And that's okay as long as there's no pain. If there is pain, just back off a little bit. And sometimes you don't have to go max effort. Like if 70% effort is where it feels good, you stay there. You don't have to go through it. So we've got another minute before we do our PAILs contraction. After we do our PAILs contraction, we're going to do our rails, where we do the opposite direction. And with that one, you're going to think of driving your forefoot and your toes up towards the ceiling. This one, I want you to make sure that you don't lean back to get out of it. You want to just isometrically contract all this front stuff as hard as possible. And deep breaths. We're almost there. You can also rotate the torso and your hip to influence different angles of that ankle. Because sometimes just going forward, you might not feel it. maybe going out to the right side, you might feel a little bit more. Maybe going on the left side, you might feel a little bit more. So kind of find that position where it feels more sticky and tight. All right, so in 10 seconds, when I tell you to go, we'll slowly start pushing the forefoot and the toes into the ground at 10% effort. So in 3, 2, and 1, start pushing down. And now let's ramp that up to 30%. Think of really pushing in just like that. Now let's go to 50%. And then when I tell you to go to max effort, think of breaking the floor beneath you. And go. Push, push, push. Break that floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Relax into the stretch. Deep breaths. Think of almost melting into it. When I tell you to go again, you're gonna try to drive that whole foot up towards your knee without leaning back. So in 3, 2, 1, start lifting. Everything you got. Activate all of this stuff. Lift that up. Lift, lift. Keep driving. Lift, lift. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Slowly come out of that. All right. Usually with ankles after PAILs and rails, you kind of just want to move them around to get some blood flow. So what we're going to do now is some passive range holds. So we're gonna go back into our end range. When I tell you to go, you're gonna lean your entire body back. But whatever angle this is, with this ankle and your knee, you're gonna actively already start pulling up and hold that position where you feel all of this stuff engaged. And then when I tell you to go back down, we'll go back down, reset, and then I'll tell you lift up and hold that ankle. Angle, not ankle. Hold the angle of your ankle. All right, so get into your end range. Start driving those toes up, and now lean back and hold. Hold, 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 and let's reset. If this feels easy, you're not driving your foot up high enough. You want to think of driving all of this right now as hard as possible. Lean back and hold that position. Hold, 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 and ease off. Reset. 3, 2, 1. Start lifting and hold that position. Hold, 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 and relax. Go one more time. Drive it forward and start lifting. And now lean back. Hold, 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 and relax. All right. Next thing we're gonna do some eccentrics on this. So you're gonna drive your foot as much as possible into Dorsi Flexion. You're manually gonna use your left hand to push it down, and you're gonna resist it. And we're gonna try to hold that for at least 4 seconds. And we're gonna go with 4 Mississippis, because 1, 2, 3, 4 is not gonna cut it. So we're gonna try to isometrically load all of this tissue that's involved with our ankle. So drive the foot up. 3, 2, 1, start pushing for 1, 2, 3, and 4, reset. Start pushing for 1, 2, 3, 4, one more time, reset. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Let's now do the other side. So left leg in front. Again, this side can do whatever needs to be done in order to get this stretch. We're gonna hold this for our 2 minutes, just like before. PAILs contraction is gonna be pushing forefoot and toes into the ground at 10%, 30, 50, then max effort. And then rails contraction will be the forefoot and toes driving up towards this knee. So right now, we are breathing. The one thing to also note is sometimes when people go into Dorsi Flexion, as they get to their end range, you'll notice that their hips will shift to the side to get a little bit more. Sometimes I use that as an assessment tool to kind of see where the person's at when it comes to even squatting. Because sometimes when I have an ankle that has a little less range of motion than the other one, naturally the hip is going to add a little bit of rotation to give you more fake dorsiflexion. I always educate clients that our bodies are really good at cheating movement, which is great and sometimes not so great depending on the environment and the situation. So a lot of times when people have a funky looking squat, those ankles play a huge role in the mechanics of it. Me personally, my left ankle has a less range of motion than my right. Even for me, like I feel a different sensation. On the right side for me, I feel more stretch on the back side of my calf. Whereas here, I feel more of a stiffness in the front, almost like a bone on bone type of feel. And that's just the years of ankle sprains that I had previously. But, you know, I'm working on it. All right, deep breaths. Got about another 20 seconds before I start telling you to push down into the ground with that forefoot and toe. Go deep breaths. All right, in 3, 2, 1, start pushing down at 10%. And let's go to 30, 50. And max effort, drive, break the floor. In 3, 2, 1, ease off, melt into that stretch. When I tell you to go, you're driving that foot up towards your knee. In 3, 2, and 1, lift. Keep lifting. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Perfect. Slowly come out of that. You have to move the ankle to get some blood flow in there. Do that right now. And now we're going to do those passive range holds where we lean forward into our end range, we activate, and then we lean back. Okay? So let's get into our end range. Whatever you have to do with the rest of your body. In 3, 2, 1, start driving that foot up. And now lean back and hold. And let's reset. Get deep into that stretch. 3, 2, 1, start driving it up. And lean back. Hold. And come back down and reset. Get nice and deep. 3, 2, 1, start driving that foot up. And lean back and hold. All of this should be on fire. Hold. And back down. One more time. 3, 2, 1, start driving that foot up. Squeeze everything you got and lean back. Hold, and relax. All right, we're going into those eccentrics. So digging that heel in, toes up towards the face, and you're manually pushing it down for 4 seconds. So in 3, 2, 1, start pushing down for 1, 2, resist, 3, 4, and reset. Bring this back up. 3, 2, 1, push for 1, 2, 3, 4, reset. We got 2 more, and start driving down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and reset. Last time. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and reset. All right. From there, we're gonna do one more thing. We're actually gonna stand up. So with our feet, just like when we were doing our ankle cars, you can go into inversion and eversion. All we're gonna do is in the standing position, we're gonna go through that motion. So let's slowly roll on the inside of your ankles into eversion. And now we're gonna go into inversion. And then back, and try to really load into here. And then back. It might not feel like much, but you wanna get comfortable in these positions because you can also do PAILs and rails in these positions as well. And out to the side. And in. And relax. Perfect. So that's going to finish up our 15-minute Kinstretch on ankle-specific stuff. If you have any more questions about Kinstretch or ankles in general or an injury, feel free to leave a comment below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, as every week I'm gonna upload a new 15-minute Kinstretch, and I'm just gonna pick one body part. Add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram, and add me on TikTok. That's it for me, you guys.